Welcome to the official patch notes for May 15, 2024 Resident Evil Resistance. Now, I'm just going to briefly go over some of this stuff because I really want to touch on the balance adjustments for Resident Evil Resistance. For starters, bonus RP is now awarded to players who select random for matchmaking when playing a quick match. This just means clicking random instead of Mastermind or Survivor will award you bonus RP to go ahead and unlock those cosmetics chests that you've been really wanting to get, or to get the rest of the equipment chests that you haven't unlocked yet. This is really good if you want to go ahead and get that bonus RP without having to purchase RP boosters. Next point, remove rank-based restrictions for equipment slots. Now, Masterminds would get punished for this a lot because they would pick a rank 5 Spencer and get completely screwed over because survivors can have high ranks, and the fact that you are a lone mastermind trying to take out 4 people with the whole world on their side, you would get punished for it, and survivors would just mock you, chicken dance at the exit gate, sit there for 10 minutes just throwing mollies, and they know they're not gonna die anyway, so they're just taunting you. Now, no longer are you discouraged for playing a mastermind below a certain rank. So good job on Capcom for that. Equipment point limits have been increased, which I think is a really good thing in my opinion, because now cards that were not viable at first, like NBC unit, cards like gyroscope, cards like dog tags, and cards like researcher's brains, which cost 10 points or 9 points, were hard to use because you would use most, if not almost all of your equipment points trying to put on one card. These cards are a lot more viable in my opinion now because you have a lot more points to work with after using those. Equipment chest purchases are no longer tied behind ranks, meaning rank 10 and 20, you don't have to wait to get the tier 2 and 3 chests. They're automatic unlocked with the tier 1 chest. Good job with that. RP boosters will no longer be consumed if a match awards RP below a certain amount. This can kind of be abused a little bit. Now, I know a lot of disconnects happen and you do use RP boosters, so those RP boosters will be consumed upon disconnecting, which sucks. But now players can use an RP booster, and if they're having a bad game, they can just disconnect and it won't use it. They can save it for a game where they know they're going to win, or a game where they know they're having a good game, which, like I said, can kind of be abused a little bit. But, I mean, it's just RP. It really doesn't hurt anything because the RP doesn't really too much affect some players at the moment. It's just for cosmetics. Once you get all the equipment chest, it's just cosmetics. So I don't see why it would hurt to do that. Remove rank-based restrictions from mastermind character selection and deck customization. This should have been in the game from the start. The fact being that you had to get a net to 5, get Daniel to 5, Alex to 5, then you can play Spencer, suck. All survivors are unlocked from the beginning. Why shouldn't masterminds be unlocked from the beginning? And deck customization, you're no longer tied behind a default deck at rank 1 through 5. Because with the default deck, players know what you're running. The fact that players know what you have, they can just get around what you have in your decks as far as cards and equipment, because it sucked. Getting up there to get those high rank equipment and high rank cards, you would go through hell and back trying to get it. But once you get up there, it was very rewarding and players couldn't abuse that anymore. Map preset editing is now unlocked by reaching rank 5 with any mastermind character. I see why they changed that, because now you can play any character you want, and it being still stuck behind a net being at rank 5 would really suck. So they had to remove that restriction as well. Added a feature to reduce players from being denied entry to a room when matchmaking with a team of survivors. Now, it sucked if you wanted to play team play with some friends and you disconnect and you just repeatedly disconnect for 15 or 20 minutes before the game would allow you to actually play again. So they fixed that issue, which is a really good job. Added a feature to the Steam version which allows players' profiles to be viewed from the results screen. I don't know how well this is or how good this is for the Steam part of Resident Evil Resistance because I do play on PlayStation, and this is my main platform of playing games. So guys, in the comments, let me know if you do play on Steam, if this is a good change or a good add-on. Just let me know in the comments. Now we're going to talk about the resolved issues. Resolve the issue where the lurk menace ability for Yatavio or Yataveo, I don't know how it's pronounced, but I call it Yataveo. If you use the lurk menace ability with Alex, it would die out. The sole purpose of the lurk menace was that Alex could leave her immobile bioweapon and come back to it later. The fact that this issue has been resolved makes her a little more viable now, and hopefully she becomes more viable with upcoming updates. Resolve the issue where some fever skills with prolonged effects would trigger their cooldown timers upon activation, rather than after the effect ends. Characters affected: Jill, Becca, and Sam. Now I want to kind of touch on this a little more because I did not know this was apparent with Jill. I didn't play enough Jill for me to actually see this happen. But Becca, I have noticed this so many times, and using it with the RPG is where the ATM missile is just awful. Sam, I've played over 300 hours of Sam, and people wonder why I try to steer them to the brute force version of his punches, because his fever skill with brute force prolongs the effect longer than immortal. Yes, health is fine in this game, but the reason that I don't run health is because time is a factor in this game. Not staying alive, but the fact that wasting time is more important than trying to be a soul tank for your team. Because if you constantly getting bit, yeah, you're gonna stay alive, but getting bit by a zombie is 15 seconds. Oh my god, I'm staying alive longer. Doesn't matter if you can't kill anything. So that is why I run more damage on Sam than anything else. Not saying that tank Sam or health Sam is not viable. It's just damage Sam is the best option for me because I'm not effectively wasting time trying to be an annoying little heal bot versus somebody when getting smacked or getting hit wastes his time. Also, with that brute force version, you do get an extra 3 seconds per creature kill. So just imagine why I was stirring you guys to brute force. I didn't explain why, but having prolonged effects longer than any other skill in the game, the fact that it would restart prior to it being off cooldown and having exhilaration as well. I mean, I'm not saying Sam was OP for that, but I'm just saying there was a reason why I kept saying in all my videos, go brute force. I think it's better than immortal. You know, I think it's really good. I wouldn't say it's the best version, but brute force is really, really good in my opinion. Everybody in my comments, nah, immortal is just better. Immortal's better. Immortal's better. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that alone because I'm gonna trigger some people if I keep talking about that. Resolve the issue where the Fury variant of Annette's ultimate skill has a shorter cooldown under certain conditions. Now, this should. It's a good. I won't say it's an issue. It was just something people figured out, but this should have just been in a balance adjustment. It's not resolved issues. Resolve the issue where being struck by immobilizing rounds would completely disable a player's control. I have gotten hit with this thing so many times and could not move, could not open inventory, and it's a very frustrating thing to do. Especially if you have the key in stage 2, you get hit with immobilizing rounds, and if the mastermind does not down you, you are completely immobile for the rest of the duration of the match. Meaning you can't complete the objectives, your team is just sitting there waiting for you to get unstuck. If the mastermind chose not to focus you at all, then it's GG. The timer will just run out. Good they fixed that, but I also want to talk about lockdown traps. Nobody's talking about lockdown traps. The fact that lockdown traps, if you stack 3 or more on top of each other, and if a survivor walks over those 3 traps or more, it will permanently lock a door. Let me say it again. Putting 3 lockdown traps near each other, and if a survivor steps on all 3, it will permanently lock one door within that range of doors. It's stupid because on stage 2, where there's a midway door that connects everything to each other, gets locked off by a lockdown trap, you are completely stuck on the opposite side of the map. Nobody is talking about this at all. I don't even think people know about it because lockdown traps are not used often because people are like, oh, lockdown traps are not good. That thing needs to be fixed. I use it like once or twice and I've done it. I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but somebody did it to me. And I was like, what causes this? I figured out what causes it, but it only locks down one door permanently. You can't choose the door it locks down, but you can put it in an area that only one door is at. If you put it into a good spot and put it toward a door where you know somebody has to go through. So be wary of that. It has to be within range of the lockdown trap, and you cannot choose what door gets permanently locked off. Next, we're going to talk about resolve the issue where a player leaving game after a match would create and cause subsequent attempts at matchmaking to fail. Same thing with the added features. I think these should have been together. It's kind of self-explanatory because they're both talking about the same thing, so I'm not going to talk about that. Adjusted some of Jill's escape animations. I still don't know what this is, and I still have not seen it in action, but hopefully the animations have been tweaked to where her dash is now viable to use to get those invincibility frames or to escape zombies. Now we're on to the balance adjustments. Reduce the effect of immobilizing round skill card. Now you changed immobilizing rounds, but you didn't change leg hold trap. If immobilizing rounds were too long, then leg hold traps are too long. Why change one without reverting the other as well? That makes no sense to me. Immobilizing rounds was a great card. Now that it's been nerfed, it's still good, but I don't think this change was necessary. I am a Survivor main, but I do think this was a way for masterminds to combat survivors, especially when they're just speed running through the course. You can slow them down for quite some time. And that's the whole thing of a mastermind. If you're caught out by yourself, you're going to get ripped to shreds. Now with the immobilizing rounds reduced, survivors can easily escape and get out of harm's way without anything, barely anything happening to them. Reduce the duration of electromagnetic shield. I do not agree with this at all because electromagnetic shield was a great card to help combat against survivors, especially when you got Jan just staring at your cameras with the EMP rounds and her passive gives her extra damage to cameras. The fact that survivors can stun lock cameras, the fact that survivors can always rip cameras to shreds in a matter of seconds. I do not think this card needed to be nerfed. Yes, it did last quite some time, but it lasted long enough to recycle through cards and find something that can help you or use something to help you out combat the survivors. So please, if the devs are listening to this, please revert some of these cards back to the way they were. Reduce the effects of Spencer's Bio Recycler skill card. Now this gave Spencer a little too much bioenergy back to the point where he had full bioenergy. I do think it was needed because he can just recycle, mod recycle, cycle through cards, mod recycle. And he would just completely wipe your timer. So mod recycler did need a little tone down, and that is good. Increase the bioenergy cost of discount skill card. Now with this, increasing the cost of discount skill card should have increased the cost of hypercharge skill card as well for Spencer. They're both a 2-cost card, so why would you ever use discount over hypercharge with Spencer now? Because hypercharge can decrease the cost way more than discount can. And it's the same cost. So there's no point of running this on Spencer anymore, especially when you get that at stage 3 for free and you don't mess up any cards in your deck. Just saying, if you're going to do something to one thing, you should address another as well. Reduce the effectiveness of some weapons when firing on security cameras to disable them. Now, I don't know exactly what weapons they're talking about, but I can assume it was the Matilda, the Quick Draw, the Shotgun, and I want to say the Lightning Hawk as well. Lightning Hawk can 3-shot it, Shotgun can hit it at stage 2 for like 5 pellets or something like that. And this is without EMP rounds or anything to help combat the cameras. Now that it's been increased for a lot of weapons, that this is a good change because masterminds can now not get staggered. Well, they still get staggered completely, but they got time to try to recycle through a electromagnetic shield to help them out. So I do think this change was needed because survivors have way too much time on their hands, and Mastermind has little to none to try to help them out. Like I said again, electromagnetic shields needs to be reverted back. Reduce the effects of mixtape and Book of Wisdom equipment. I completely disagree with this. This is why. Remove mixtape completely and remove Book of Wisdom. Remove energy drink. Remove those completely out the game because we do not need those. The fact that Val had a 90-second cooldown plus was able to run mixtapes and become an effective heal bot for no reason at all was completely stupid. Now, I know you can argue that, it's good for Jill, but people abuse that. Ran nothing but mixtape, straight mixtape. You need nothing else, especially on Val. You just run straight mixtape. Martin, straight mixtape. Jan, straight mixtape. Becca, straight mixtape. Anybody. Tyrone? Who cares about Tyrone? Give them straight mixtapes. Didn't matter. This card was overused on everybody. They abused this card. Get rid of it completely. Lengthen the cooldown of spray gun variant of Val's fever skill. Yes, this needs to be changed because it should not outweigh the other. It should give you the option to choose one or the other. The fact that spray gun was a 90-second cooldown and the other, I think it's like a 180 or 160, maybe 120. I don't know exact numbers, but now you can actually combat which one is better than the other. One gives you reduced cooldown while the other one gives you infection healing. This is a great alternative. Now you can switch between the two and not just run spray gun every single time you see a Val, and she just becomes a complete heal bot for no reason. Now, I also want to say this before I move on to the next one. If you're going to revert Val's fever spray gun, increase the cooldown of that. You should increase the cooldowns of Martin's flash because his secondary version of his flash is a 90-second cooldown. Along with mixtapes, it was completely stupid. But you're not talking about that. Everybody wants to say Sam is OP, but yet the fact remains Val is a freaking heal bot every 30 seconds or every fight you get in. Val's back there with her little spray gun cranking it up, and Martin's over there, flash this, flash that, flash your baby mama, flash your boyfriend, flash your girlfriend, flash this for no reason. I can flash his dog, but you know why? Because I have it back next time I see something. What? But Sam's OP. Come on now, people. I didn't want to turn this to a rant, but Sam is one of the worst characters compared to everybody else in the game. Oh, he can stun lock. Well, Val is a healing machine and can heal her team completely. Dr. Tyrone running around. Oh, I Spartan kick you. About time you get up. I have completely healed my team and we have walked away. Martin, flash, flash, flash. Becca, I got infinite rockets. Jill, I completely destroy everything. You want to put out 20 zombies? One rocket blows all that up. Jan, I can lock you down for as long as possible. I can hold this, but all I have to do is hold one button and you cannot completely do anything at all. You have to leave us alone. I can go take a shit. I can go make dinner and come back and still be holding this button down and you cannot do anything about it. But Sam is OP. Really, people? My God. Reduce the effects of a enhanced variant of a next genetic mutation. This needed to be nerfed. She was too OP. Nerf her. Good thing. Reduce the rate of which creatures recover health. Yes, this was strong on the net, but the fact that you've nerfed two cards, like I said, this was mainly nerfing masterminds, and they were not that strong. They needed stuff to help them out. Survivors are way stronger. They are not OP, but they are way stronger than masterminds. And the fact that you mainly made this patch about masterminds I completely disagree with this. Man. Next, we're talking about reduce the effects of EMP rounds. This was needed. It was very much needed. EMP rounds were very strong, especially in the hands of Jan and effects of Jill. This was really strong. So EMP rounds needed to be nerfed. Adjusting how easily Yataveo can be incapacitated. This is good because her plant died too easily. Sam can just punch it to death. Tyrone can sledgehammer to death. Molly's all day from Val can just destroy this thing. It's just too weak. Alex needs a very, very big buff. If you can give it to her, please give her a buff. Like I said, this has been a mastermind balance adjustment, and survivors have barely got touched on. I am shocked by this. I really am. You still got 90-second Martin out here. He can still stack mixtapes. You got Val still, I don't know. I haven't really touched on Val since the patch update, but I think you barely even increased the amount of time on the mixtape. So people can still probably run this effectively. Jan can run straight wallets and have a machine gun stage 1. Man, this... I'm not going to keep ranting, but like I said, Sam's OP. Sam is the one who needs to be nerfed. Oh my God, people are complaining. Oh, why didn't Sam get touched? What happened? Why is Sam not getting touched? He is not OP compared to Hillbot Valerie, compared to Mixtape Martin, where he can just completely flash every single thing and Spartan kick Tyrone over here healing in the blink of an eye. Jill blows up a whole entire room with one rocket. Sometimes I think people just troll on purpose. I really do. But that's enough for this video. I do have some things in the works. Working on a Nicholai build. It's a troll Nicholai build, actually. I don't know if it works right. Still trying to work out the kinks on it. It's completely troll. And with the equipment point limit increase, I'm working on something new with Sam. And I also have another video coming out on Fist Only Sam. So I'm working on those projects for you guys, and hopefully I have them out within due time. It does take me quite some time to get these videos out because you probably can tell, you can hear family in the background. My dog runs around the room all day long, and sometimes I have to restart and remake these videos over and over again. So it takes me time to get these out. Hopefully I get these out in rapid succession now and have some content for you guys to watch. As always, if you like the content I do bring for you guys and more, you know what to do. Stay safe out there, and see you guys in another video.